Okay, so today, for those of you live, you know about this. Crimson Harvest is on the way, and Fred and Harriet, the little podcast about it. Let's see what they got to say.
Hey there! We're just days away from October, and you know what that means for New Eden, right? The air is getting thick, with the scent of burning titanium and, well,
look for some officers still while
Crimson Harvest
they're talking about this.
in EVE Online.
It's that time again.
Now we both know you're no stranger to the sprawling chaos of EVE. But this event, it's got the potential to throw even the most seasoned capsulator for a loop. We're talking about a whole new layer of risk versus reward, a dash of lore, and of course, enough loot to make even the most hardened pirate drool. So, consider this your pre-Crimson Harvest briefing. We're diving deep into this foreboding season to make sure you're prepped and ready to grab those sinister opportunities with both hands.
And trust me, you're going to want to be ready. The event description doesn't hold back. Shadowy deeds, brutal battles, chaotic carnage. It's clear CCP is leaning into the darker side of EVE this time around.
Oh, absolutely. And you know me, I love a good dose of spacefaring spookiness.
Welcome
but
to the
before we get
Dragons.
Lost in the atmosphere, let's talk strategy. The event kicks off on October
Stream Cloud,
3rd
welcome.
And runs until November 5th, so you've got a little over a month to make your mark on this chilling saga.
Exactly. And the clock is ticking. This isn't just about enjoying the ride. There's serious potential for profit and power shifts during Crimson Harvest. One of the most significant changes is that juicy 90% loot drop rate from PvP kills.
Okay, yeah, that definitely caught my eye. 90% compared to the usual 50%, that's huge. What kind of impact do you think that'll have on the overall gameplay during the event?
Well, for one thing, expect to see a lot more action, especially in low-sec and null-sec. That increased loot drop is going to be a huge motivator for those who thrive on a little risk, for a bigger reward.
So we're talking about pirates and PvP-focused corporations licking their chops.
Look at all that loot.
Now.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's stuff
the
here to
event
shoot.
description specifically mentions Derelict and Delve as hotspots for hellish loot drops, both notorious for being home to some of EVE's most ruthless players.
Makes sense. If you're going to dive headfirst into a bloodbath, you might as well do it where the rewards match the risk, right? But you mentioned nullsec as well. Doesn't that usually involve massive fleet battles and a level of coordination
Well,
let's just say not everyone's cup of space tea.
that's the beauty of Crimson Harvest.
Yeah.
It has the potential to shake things up, even in the most established corners of New Eden. With loot this good up for grabs, even the most risk-averse alliances might be tempted to dip their toes into those dangerous waters.
So, potentially even more incentive for conflict than usual, especially with those sites that can escalate mentioned in the event description. What's your take on those? They sound pretty intriguing.
They do, don't they? It implies a level of dynamic gameplay we haven't seen much of in past Crimson Harvest events. Imagine sites that become progressively more difficult as you clear them, with each escalation offering even greater challenges and potentially even greater rewards.
Okay, now we're talking. Sounds like a recipe for some truly intense showdowns, especially if multiple groups are vying for control of those escalating sites.
It's going to be fascinating to see how those dynamics play out, that's for sure. Especially since this time around, there's a whole narrative layer woven into the carnage.
Right, the Crimson Clash. You know I love a good lore tie-in, so for those of us who might not be fully up to speed on our Blood Raider history, give us the rundown.
Well, on one side, you have the Blood Raider
This
Covenant,
is what was announced today.
notorious for their
Coming up in a few days, next week.
Unconventional beliefs. These guys make even the most hardcore pirates look like choir boys.
With their love of blood rituals and all things spooky, right?
Exactly. They're basically the poster children for everything dark and sinister in New Eden. And this year, they're going head-to-head with the Order of Tetramon.
Who are pretty much the polar opposites, if I remember correctly.
You could say that the Order of Tetramon values structure, discipline, and a certain purity of vision. They're not exactly known for their sense of humor.
So it's basically order versus chaos, played out on a galactic scale with lasers and spaceships. And the best part,
I forgot to put
we
my
get to choose a
MTU
side.
out.
Precisely.
Darn it.
Through the agency system.
Which, for those who might be new to EVE, or haven't delved into that aspect of the game, is essentially like...
Think of it as a sort of galactic job board.
Exactly. It's where you can sign up with different factions to take on missions, earn reputation.
Yeah, I'm all
work your
stocked
way
up for the
ranks.
storm.
But how does it tie into Crimson Harvest specifically?
It adds a whole new layer of player agency. Instead of just being caught in the crossfire, you're actively choosing a side in this conflict. And those choices will have consequences.
Okay. Now we're getting to the good stuff. What kind of consequences are we talking about here?
Well, for starters, the missions you receive through the agency will be tailored to the faction you've aligned with. So if you throw your lot in with the Blood Raiders, expect things to get a little messy.
Knowing them, messy is probably an understatement.
Indeed. On the other hand, siding with the Order of Tetramon might offer a more structured approach to the Crimson Harvest chaos, but don't mistake that for being easier.
So no matter which side you choose, you're in for a challenge.
Absolutely. And based on the event description,
Oh,
it
I'm
sounds like we're
looting.
not just talking about your run-of-the-mill combat encounters. They mention
See if this is
unique
updated.
missions that will test your resolve and reward your cunning, which suggests something a bit more
Intricate.
intriguing. And of course, no self-respecting Capsuleer would even consider entering a war zone, no matter how narratively compelling. Without a healthy dose of incentive, let's talk reward.
Ah, yes. The spoils of war. And Crimson Harvest is shaping up to be particularly generous this year, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't you say? So we've covered the loot, the lore, and the rewards. You've given me a lot to think about here. But before we let you go and plot your Crimson Harvest domination, let's bring it all back to the big picture. What's the main takeaway here? What's the one thing you really want to make sure sticks with me as I navigate this bloodbath?
This year's Crimson Harvest is more than just a chance to rack up some kills and grab some loot. It's a catalyst for change in New Eden. The increased loot drop rate alone is going to inject a surge of volatility into the game.
Yeah, it's my second
Then
hurricane
you layer
this
on
year.
the narrative element with the Crimson Clash and the strategic choices that come with aligning yourself with either the Blood Raiders or the Order of Tetramon. It all adds up to a recipe for some truly significant power shifts.
You're really driving home the impact this event could have.
Right, I gotta
have to
switch
admit, I'm
drones.
getting a bit more excited with every detail we uncover. And remember, this is all happening within a limited time frame, October 3rd to November 5th. Whatever chaos unfolds, whatever alliances are forged or shattered, it's all going to play out against the backdrop of that ticking clock.
That sense of urgency definitely adds another layer to the whole thing. Knowing that the opportunity to capitalize on this chaos is fleeting, it definitely
90%
raises
loot
the
bat?
stakes.
Well,
Any final words of
doesn't
wisdom
include hull.
before we launch ourselves into the unknown?
Stay agile, choose your allies carefully, and don't underestimate the power of a well-timed betrayal. This is Crimson Harvest after all. Embrace the chaos.
Excellent advice. It sounds like you've got my blood pumping for some Crimson Harvest action. I'm ready to dive in, make some strategic choices, and see what unfolds in this ever-evolving universe of New Eden. Thanks for guiding me through the finer points of this bloodbath waiting to happen. Until next time, fly safe.
All right. Well, they kind of have an interesting take on it. So, let's see here. Get some salvaging going on. We got a good amount of loot so far on this one. It's nice. All right, we're looking at this. So it is tracking more this way. They keep saying it's going to go straight up here, but it keeps turning. So right now it's clear here. And I don't expect it to deviate outside of the cone of uncertainty here. But the closer we are to the center, the stronger the winds are going to be. They're saying this storm is 400 to 500 miles wide. And you know, it's pretty big. $7.7 million in loot. Oh, more stuff to shoot. All right. What happened? Oh, they're warping away. Okay. Well then. That happens. So, when you lose them all like that, they're warping away. Yeah, the officers typically have names. And so and they're incredibly difficult to kill. So, yeah. Nice to see some other stuff warping in, though. Well, 13.3 million. It's nice. It's not, you know, it's not big money until I hit one of the really nice things. You know, so I don't currently have the ability to take out a dread if they spawn, which last show they warped in on me twice in 2 different belts. And so I may work at getting a dread out here. Haven't quite decided yet. But it's definitely a possibility. And so I think the first thing I'd have to do is make sure I have a Sino character. Because like right now I'm not even sure that I have that I have a Sino character that I can light a Sino out here for a dread. So, oh, I got it all. Good. But I'm just about completely full. Nice. Good amount of loot. I'm liking it. All right, take our loot back and drop it off.
Warp drive active.
Says that I did one of my daily goals or whatever. Oh, so I get another 10,000. Third milestone. Oh yeah, I have to do all these. You know, it's like, I don't really do very much. I assume that you get all these things if they just automatically give them to you if you don't claim them. But I'll hit that claim all. There's 40,000 skill points there. And there's some ISK there, but it's not really that much.
Docking request accepted.
Got 15.3 million. Switch gears here a little bit. See what's going on here. Jumps away. All right. I'm gonna go look.
Warp drive active.
Maybe get a little PvP action. I don't know. Boy, it's looking all nice outside right now. It's gonna be stormy though.
Warp drive active.
We'll see what all's in there. If it's just a lone ship, I can go take it out. No problem. A squall. I should be able to take out a squall. Squall can be just super tanky though. Same time. See what's in here. You just set a skyhook. There's 2 people there. Let's see if I can see this from here. Squall, what? And a Vargur and a carrier? Fuck it, here we go.
Warp drive active.
Oh, it's IB Steve. Oh, well, he's going to be prepared to fight. Yeah, is he streaming right now? I mean, I'm not going to bring his channel up, but... Vargur and a squall. Let's go for it. I'm probably gonna lose, but let's go for it.
Warp drive active.
Overheating everything. Yeah, I figured that I wouldn't that I wouldn't make it out of there against a Vargur, but I wanted to try. So wanted to try because I didn't think that it was 100% that I was going to lose. You know, sometimes you look at it and you go, I know I'm going to lose, and so I shouldn't do that. Well, I figure that if I have at least a thought of 1% that I might be able to get it, I'll try. Yeah, I figured I would lose. Well, I figured there's a 1% chance, and so I was going to give it a shot. So I kind of wish that I had another Marauder, but I didn't know what was going to be here until I got here. So, you know, yeah, I just what intrusion in of what? Of the bank here? Wait. Why is somebody stealing our own ESS here? What the fuck? Are they emptying the main bank? So others don't take it?
Warp drive active.
Oh. I'm gonna go over there and look. See what's going on. I'm grabbing another ship.
Accepted.
Yeah, Beast. Yeah, I knew it was him. I mean, just because somebody else told me.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
So you had the Marauder not a BS? Yeah, well, you know, so you can tell him that if I think there's even a 1% chance I'll succeed, I'll go for it. I figured there was maybe 1 or 2% chance, but you know, it was fun.
Warp drive active.
Maybe this guy is supposed to be? I don't know. Doesn't look right. I would think he'd be a bean. So, all I did is wave back to me. We asked him if he's supposed to be doing this. I don't want to be the police out here. You know? This isn't my job. Yeah, he just took the whole damn thing. He just took 200 million out of there. Strike now? Yeah, I don't know if I have the right to blow him up. He took 200 million out of the bank. All right. Oh. Yeah, man, I don't want to be the sheriff here. So, I don't know what to do with this guy. It is within the game mechanics. This guy, though, he's robbing our own ESS. Now, I don't have any stake in this. I just saw one of our own robbing our own bank. You're supposed to wait for it to pay out. He decided that he was going to rob it and take it, not knowing if any of it belonged to any other person in this system. And so that's the problem. And so the problem is he says he was the only one in here, all the rest are him. I mean, it just looks bad, you know. But I'm not going to be the God. I don't want to be the frickin' police, you know.
Welcome to the Dragons.
Slaughter _ 221 just followed.
He says all the characters are him. All right, whatever. Let me head out of here. So, all right. I'm done talking to him. So I got to get out of the bubble here. So this is an ESS bank, and you know, I think it's a violation to rob the bank, even if it's as he says that he was the only one in here because everybody else is his alts. So I just told him to check on whether or not that was okay or not before doing it again. And I don't want to be the police here. But at the same time, I don't want, you know, in Horde, we let anybody in. And so that creates a lot of problems. Like, you'll notice that I'm not in a fleet while I'm out here. I'm not in a fleet because then it allows for other unknowns to come up and to come up and AWOX me, which has happened in my Paladin. And so I kind of feel like, you know, I should be at least conscious of other people in the Alliance taking advantage of everyone. So maybe he's renting the whole system. He's not. I don't think that there's no rented systems. We have no rented systems here. So you know, so anyway, he's justifying it to me. He messaged me again, justifying it to me, and that's fine. I just let him do whatever he's gonna do. I'm not gonna do anything else with him. If I don't want to be the sheriff, I shouldn't go back and look. I certainly do not want to be the sheriff. But should I go back and ask questions? See, a sheriff would be enforcing rules. I'm not enforcing rules. I didn't shoot him. I could have. I didn't shoot him or nothing, and I wasn't planning on, and such. But you know, we're in an area out here that is much more lawless than our normal areas. And so we have to kind of stick up for ourselves out here, because I can't call for Standing Fleet to come help me out. Report them and move on, duty done. Well, reporting him just gets him in trouble. Right? If I ask him what's going on and he tells me, I can just leave it at that. The answer that he gave me was a potentially legit answer. And, you know, if he hadn't told me that he was everybody else in here, then I'd be like, bro, this is not a this is a problem. You know, but you're right, I shouldn't stick my nose in. But I also hate it when people get taken advantage of. He did ask how much was mine, but I don't know. If I were in here ratting too, would I know how much was mine? Like, I don't think I would. I don't know how much would be mine. So, I just have to make a guess. So, I'm conflicted about it. Like, one, I could just leave him alone, but two, I don't know. It's just like the MTU thing. I don't want to be the police of that. I just want them to not abandon them. I'd rather they just don't abandon them other than as opposed to having the thrill of shooting them. It's not actually very much of a thrill. It's more like, I mean, yeah, it pays for my time because I get something out of them, but it's not a huge amount. So if I said 100 million and he paid me, it could have been seen as a bribe. You know, he's fucking around by doing that. And he even told me, he's like, it's not okay against the rules. I didn't show that on the screen, but that's what he told me. And, you know, so, yeah, I could have said too some shit like, well, I think you should be, that it should be all of it that you give me, and I should just give it to the Alliance or something. But I guess more so I don't like it put me in a situation. Hey Thor, how's it going, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. I knew that was really Thor when he told me that I should just shoot them in the face for doing it. So, yeah. It's nice to see you, Thor. Thor was always my favorite person to have on comms. Because the shit he said just like digs you in such a deep hole with everyone. But it's always shockingly good. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, so Niggly Dammit says, you know, he has 900 million self-ratted in the bank. So wait, so it was 200 million that was in the bank, and there's 2 hours for somebody else to take it. Yeah, you know, it doesn't change my opinion. It doesn't change my opinion of robbing the bank, because, you know, okay, so what is that thing? You know, if a bear shits in the woods, does anybody even notice? Or how does that saying go? You know, if he steals the bank and there's no one else in system and it's just been him there all along, would anybody even notice? Would it be a problem? The answer is no. Nobody's going to notice. His problem was, I came through the system and I saw that there was a problem. So, oh yeah, if the tree falls in a forest, does it make a sound? Yes. So that's one. I don't know. I don't remember what the bear shitting in the woods is about. Yeah, that's probably some other thing. And so, I get it. I get it. I understand it. And maybe I'm just being a little too black and white on the rules. Does a bear shit in the woods? Yes. So the answer is yes. So that's asking someone to say yes. Got it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, no. Anyway, it's all good. So if he's doing it, whatever. Somebody else complains, fine. He's on the show. So you don't know how many times I've gotten messages from sheriffs saying, oh, I saw what happened on your show. I took care of it. The guy that AWOX'd me, sheriff took care of it. He saw the show. He took care of it. And so, you know, I don't have to report it. Somebody else will. So anyway, there we are. I wonder how much loot I've got now. I mean, I lost a ship worth what, 400 million? And so I got about 300, a little over 300 million in loot in here now. And yeah, so the Paladin I lost, the one that's on YouTube, yes, that was an AWOX. So it was a blue who found me, stayed cloaked, was in a fleet with neutrals, and then they came in and warped straight to me. So that's how that happened. And a little known fact, bears have tiny toilets by the sea. Great. Yeah. Little known fact, I didn't know that one else either, you know. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, cue the dramatic music. Anyway, I am going to ask about Moist tonight because they keep working in this system and they're not part of Pandemic Horde, and they say that they have the rights to. I don't think that they do. I think that it's actually someone in here who's friendly with them that told them they could, that is not a person of authority. And part of the thing about having sovereignty in your system is that you leave the resources for your own people. You don't bring in other people to pick up the resources. And so if they're wanting to work together, then that other person should become Horde. And, you know, that's kind of the way I look at it. So, all right. If you're watching on YouTube, that's going to be it for this episode.